Hi everyone, I'm Christy from Optimal Wellness, Yoga and More, and I'm here today to join in on the 31 Days of Witchcraft. It's a hashtag that Heather Carter started, and I'll have a link down in the description box below to her first post where she shares all the prompts. I thought this would be a great thing to jump in on and introduce more of myself to those of you who may be here. I'm going to group a couple days at a time, and I'll include timestamps as well in the description box below, so you can jump ahead if you'd like. If I start going on and on about something too long, you can just skip ahead. So, the first question that Heather posed for this hashtag is your witchcraft secular, spiritual, or religious? And how does this influence your practice? I would say I was originally drawn to it as a secular practice of sorts. What I started with, which was kind of following the cycles of the moon, and then slowly adding in the seasons and everything, I was doing just for my own wellness, my own happiness. I grew up on a dairy farm. I spent almost 20 years in the Front Range of Colorado, where we had our own garden, we preserved, we fermented, we brewed our own kombucha. So when we moved almost 5 years ago now to the DC metro area, I was suddenly brought face to face with how important nature and her cycles and all of that was to me. So I ended up trying to connect to these things as a means of finding that nature here, even in an urban environment, in a fifth-story apartment in a world of concrete and asphalt. So it started out that way, but the longer that I've practiced it, the more that I've realized it isn't just a practice, it is more spiritual for me. It hasn't replaced the religion that I was raised with. Instead, it's enhanced and allowed me to combine and kind of create my own, I hate to use the word religion, but my own spirituality, I guess, is the best way to put it. I bring in, pieces from here and pieces from there. And so in terms of the type of practice, I would definitely say I'm an eclectic witch. And it suits me. So for day 2, Heather asks us, do you work with specific deities as part of your practice? Why or why not? Well, as I said in the first day's question, I came to this more as a means to connect to nature. So I haven't been particularly drawn to work with deities. The only exception would be that I have gone through a 2-year shamanic training program, and anyone who has, started any sort of intro to shamanism class or that knows that in the early days you tend to take a shamanic journey to the lower world, where you're generally going to come into contact with your spirit guides. And when you shamanic journey to the upper world, that's often where you will find your master teachers. And the master teachers could be archangels, it could be blood ancestors, they could be soul ancestors, they can be gods, goddesses, saints, religious figures, any of those sorts of things. And I was working with a particular master teacher for almost a year before she would reveal to me who she was. And it ended up that it was St. Bridget. Now, my work with her has only consisted of journeying to her, asking her for advice, asking her for, maybe rituals to do to shift some energy, things of that sort. To this date, she hasn't directed me to, say, create an altar specifically to her or to do anything in particular to honor her, other than to spend time with her and turn to her when I feel called. So that is the extent of my practice with deities at this point. I have been feeling a bit of a tug towards Kuan Yin and towards Freya, but I really, aside from a few synchronicities, really bringing them to the forefront of my mind, I don't have any strong urge to do anything other than I would like to research and learn a bit more about them, but that opportunity hasn't presented itself, or I've not made that opportunity happen just yet. I'm kind of on this path really organically, and I know that my time will come to work more deeply with the gods and goddesses, but I think that time just isn't now, and that's okay. So then the third question that Heather asks us is, what area of your practice are you currently focusing on, if any? It's kind of difficult to answer. In some ways, it depends on how you define practice. I would say that the big things for me, especially since COVID-19 and needing to self-quarantine and things like that, is I need to feel grounded. I need to feel centered. I'm an empath. I take on everybody's energy around me, or I can take that on. And so I've got to do what I can to keep myself from taking that on. And if I do take it on, to help me shift it out. So one of the best things I can do is be really consistent in ritual practice, especially ritual practice for self-care. So I'm just trying to be as consistent as I can, but allowing myself some grace at doing some morning and evening rituals that help me manage my energy, to release the energy that isn't mine to carry, to call in the energy I feel I'm in need of, and to just try lift my vibration higher. For me, a lot of that is doing my daily activities, things like brushing my teeth, taking my shower, making my coffee, and doing those with mindfulness and with intention, and just being in the present moment, focused on exactly what's happening, not rushing, not multitasking. If you've watched my coffee video on how I've turned my morning coffee into a ritual, you'll know that I don't go and walk off as my water is dripping through the cone filter. I'm present. I'm sending good energy. I'm sending Reiki or blessings into that cup of coffee so that when I take it in, it too is bringing me those blessings. It's raising my energy. And so I do similar things. When I shower, I visualize the water rinsing away energies that aren't mine and returning me back to my highest and best vibration. I take Epsom salt baths sometimes, and I use Dr. Teal's salt body scrub, which I've come to really adore, because saging right now is not something that can happen super regular. So I appreciate being able to cleanse with the salt, and really that has been my focus. Additionally, I guess you could include tarot because I've been much more focused on, again, trying to be more consistent in that as well. I'm trying to do a weekly reading and daily pulls and really take my time to truly read the cards for myself instead of just kind of like glancing over them and then moving on with my day. I'm keeping a journal to track that, and that helps keep me accountable to truly interpret the cards. So I guess that's my answer. I bring intention and mindfulness to all the everyday tasks that I do, and I'm trying to be more consistent both in the rituals of self-care and in practicing and deepening my understanding of tarot. So that's the first 3 days. I'm going to try to break this up into a couple videos so that they're nice and short. Thank you so much for staying here with me through this. If you are participating, or if you'd like to start participating, please leave your link in the comments below so I can come check it out. Again, I have the link to Heather's post that includes all of the prompts for the 31 days. And I look forward to getting to know you a little bit better, connecting a bit more. Until then, please be well. Namaste.